So if your Google ads aren't getting the clicks you want, you're probably missing out on one of these three things. So today I'm breaking down an ad formula that works 9 out of 10 times. So it's easy and it comes down to three main things, which is dynamic keywords and locations, headline pinning, and using real numbers with clear benefits. So these tweaks, these small things that I've used have consistently boosted my clients' CTR or click-through rate. And according to WordStream, right, they can confirm this, that dynamic keyword insertion can actually increase your CTR by up to 55%. So I'll share that stat with you later. It'll be in the show notes. But by the end of this episode, you'll learn how to use them and make your ads better with no guesswork. So if you're new here, my name's Josiah Roche. I've worked with over 100 businesses writing copy for more than 5,000 Google Ads campaigns. And these things have driven millions of dollars for my clients in revenue. And I've tested this across thousands of ads. So every time I use it, I see a really big boost in CTR, and it works nearly every time. Like, I've never seen a client that it never works with. So when I say it works, it's not just theory. I've actually seen this firsthand. So number one is using dynamic keywords and locations. So this is one of the easiest and quick wins for your Google Ads because Google Ads rewards relevance. Okay. Higher relevance can lead to a quality score increase, which means reducing your cost per click by up to 50%, right? So that's half off your cost per clicks, right? A huge saving. So the more your ad matches what people are typing into the search bar, the more likely it is to show up and actually get clicked on, right? So dynamic keywords can do this for you automatically and insert the exact search term someone uses right into your actual ad copy itself, so your headlines. So it grabs attention and it makes your ad more relevant to Google. So for example, if someone types in best yoga studio in Austin, your ad can display that exact phrase, which makes the searcher feel like it's speaking directly to them. Okay, so adding locations is even better. So that we just spoke about dynamic keywords. Let's talk about dynamic locations, which is a really cool thing. So what we find is personalization actually increases the engagement. A study by Infosys found that 86% of people found that personalization influenced their buying decision. Okay, so let's say that you run ads across multiple cities. Instead of running one generic ad to one generic ad with no city in there, you can set up what's called dynamic location. You can make sure that, if you use affordable plumber, you can change it to like affordable plumber in Dallas. And Dallas can automatically be swapped out depending on the IP address of the person or the searcher. So if not in Dallas, you live in New York, it can automatically detect that you live in New York based on your IP address and swap the Dallas with New York. And this can change directly into your headlines. It's amazing. And so people are more likely to click on an ad that feels more targeted to their area, right? You might have done this yourself. You might have seen on Google that's got your location on the ad and you click on it more because it's more relatable to you, right? As opposed to some generic, countrywide ad like Australia-wide or whatever. Okay, so we spoke about dynamic keywords and dynamic locations. Next in the formula is headline pinning. So Google Ads lets you create a lot of different headlines, especially in your RSAs, your responsive search ads. But the problem is it doesn't always display them in the order that you want it to display in. So it can mess up with your messaging, especially if your best headlines get buried. They actually don't get shown most of the time, and you don't want that. So this is where headline pinning comes in. And this works with responsive search ads only. So you can pin your most important headlines at the very beginning of the ad and make sure they're always shown there, right? So for example, let's say you've got the main keyword as a dynamic keyword insertion. And so you want that to show in the first pinning always because people read left to right in the Western culture. And that when they're in hunt mode, they see that keyword and they quickly click on it because it matches their search term, right? So you might want to do that always, but if you don't have headline pinning, that's not going to happen. And sometimes that keyword would be pinned in, not pinned, but it would be shown in the position 3 or position 2. And so you don't really want that. You want to dictate to Google. So according to Google, the first 2 headlines are the most critical as they receive the most attention. Okay, so don't worry too much about headline 3. I'll show you the stat around that as well in the show notes. For example, if you have a headline that says 50% off your first session, you don't want that popping up in the third pinning, right? Because then it doesn't get shown most of the time. And in fact, like probably 90% of the time, you won't ever show that exact headline. And that might be the most powerful headline that you want in the position too, always. So you need to use headline pinning, because pinning gives you the control that you need so you're not wasting money. So without it, you're just leaving everything up to Google's algorithm to find out and do the, the guesswork for you and make a lot of mistakes and waste a lot of your money in doing that. So headline pinning makes sure that your most powerful message gets seen every time and uses what's called the primacy effect, because people remember the first piece of information that's presented to them better than something that's presented later, So they'll gravitate towards that first thing that they saw. And that's why your ads are very important, and that's why you can't leave it up to chance, right? So use headline pinning if you're doing RSAs. So we spoke about dynamic keyword insertion, dynamic location insertion, and then headline pinning. So I want to talk about the use, and this is the final one in the formula, and do all these please, because they'll just make your ad CTR incredibly high. The third one is using numbers and benefits. And when I mean benefits, I mean tangible and intangible. So let's get into that. So a lot of people mess up with this. They forget to add numbers in their actual headlines itself. Some people I found in clients, they just add all the keywords that they think people are typing in, and they add that literally in all 15 headlines. It's terrible, because that's just a waste of space when you can just use one pinning and one headline to take care of that main keyword. Anyway, tangent. So numbers instantly add credibility and catch the eye. So in fact, headlines with numbers have shown to generate more than 73% shares and engagement. I'll share that stat with you soon. But basically, if you have something like save $500 or only 3 spots left, it works a lot better than just saying something generic as hell, like limited time offer or big savings here, or, we're the experts, and no one gives a shit about that. So numbers make your ad a lot more concrete, and people remember that. It's a piece of information, like that primacy effect that we spoke about. But you can't just throw numbers in there, right? It's not just all about cramming numbers in there. You have to pair it with benefits. So you need to hit both intangible and tangible benefits. So tangible benefits are the obvious ones, like money saved, time saved, a discount, stuff like 50% off your first haircut, or delivered within 24 hours Australia-wide, or delivered in 24 hours to Brisbane, residents, or something like that. It makes it really powerful. So they're more obvious ones, and I love those. They're amazing. But intangible benefits is what a lot of people don't do. So there was actually a study on this where when you evoke more emotions in the ads itself, it can be up to 70% more effective. So think of things like stress-free tax filing, or look your best for that big day or that big event, if you got a wedding or something, whatever. So it's not just about price. You need to think about how your product or service makes life better. So when you pair it with numbers, it makes your ad way more appealing and clickable. And this is why it increases click-through rate. So for example, instead of saying something like get 50% off, you'd say something like get 50% off your first session and save time with our easy booking system or something. Like, get a bit creative with this, because you can really pair numbers with these intangible benefits in a really nice way that can relate to what the person even wants in the first place when they're searching for what you have or what you sell. So you have to combine a number that's a tangible benefit, like money saved, like save 7 hours a week doing this, or we've processed 18 million invoices using this software, whatever it is, or whatever, right? They're all cool stuff that you can do, and you can pair it with money saving, time saving, all that kind of stuff. And then you can pair it with an intangible thing like convenience, or how it makes life easier and all that kind of stuff. Things that are like an emotional state. And in psychology, this is what's called the dual benefit principle. So you can look that up. I've got it in the show notes as well. But yes, this is the formula, right? So let's recap. This works 9 times out of 10 for me across every single industry, and I've done this for over 150 niches, okay? So number 1 is dynamic keywords and locations. So make sure that your ad matches exactly what people are searching for using dynamic keywords, and make it feel local with location targeting using that IP address insertion. So remember, personalization can influence 86% of consumers. So make sure that you're taking advantage of that statistic, right? Second to the formula is headline pinning. So don't let Google decide what shows first in your ads. Pin your most important headlines to the top positions to make sure you're leveraging the primacy effect. And number 3 is using numbers and benefits. So using numbers to grab attention and combine it with a tangible or intangible benefit to make your offer feel real and really impactful. And remember, headlines with numbers can boost engagement by 73%. Okay, and I'll share these stats. Go through the show notes, please. So it's simple and it works. And these 3 things have consistently increased click-through rates across thousands of ads for all my clients. And if you apply them to your own campaigns, just let me know how you go. I'm confident you'll see similar results. So try them out, test them out, see how they work with your CTR. And thanks for listening. I'll catch you in the next episode. Cheers.